Azure Fundamentals, also known as a Z900, is Microsoft's entry-level cloud certification. This certification is designed for anyone who wants to start their journey in cloud computing with Microsoft Azure. Whether you're an IT professional, a developer, or someone completely new to technology, this certification provides the foundational knowledge you need to understand cloud services and how Azure works. The Z900 exam validates your understanding of core cloud concepts, Azure services, security, pricing, and support. It's the perfect starting point for building a successful career in cloud computing and can open doors to more advanced Azure certifications. The Z900 certification serves a specific purpose in the technology landscape. It validates your foundational knowledge of Microsoft Azure cloud services and core cloud computing concepts. The target audience for this certification is quite broad. It's ideal for IT professionals transitioning to cloud roles, developers looking to expand their skill set, business analysts who work with cloud solutions, and anyone starting their cloud journey from scratch. One of the best aspects of this certification is that there are no formal prerequisites required. However, having a basic understanding of IT concepts such as networking, storage, and computing will definitely help you grasp the material more easily. The exam itself is designed to be beginner-friendly. You'll have 60 minutes to complete between 40 and 60 questions that cover core Azure concepts. These questions are a mix of multiple choice, scenario-based, and true-false formats. Getting a Z900 certified offers numerous benefits for your professional growth. First, it helps you launch your cloud computing career with industry-recognized credentials that employers value. Having this certification on your resume demonstrates to potential employers and stakeholders that you possess foundational knowledge of cloud computing and Microsoft Azure specifically. Second, it builds a strong foundation for pursuing advanced Azure role-based certifications. Many professionals use a Z900 as a stepping stone toward certifications like Azure Administrator, Azure Developer, or Azure Solutions Architect. Finally, the knowledge you gain prepares you to understand cloud concepts that are applicable across multiple platforms and services, not just Azure. This broader understanding of cloud computing principles will serve you well regardless of which cloud platform you work with in the future. Let's look at the key details of the Z900 exam. The exam typically contains between 40 and 60 questions. These questions include multiple choice, scenario-based problems, and other formats designed to test your understanding. You'll have 60 minutes to complete the exam, which is generally enough time if you've prepared well. Non-native English speakers can request an additional 30 minutes, making the total time 90 minutes. The passing score is 700 out of a possible 1,000 points. Azure uses a scaled scoring system, which means your score is calculated based on the difficulty of questions you answer correctly. The exam cost is $99, though this price may vary depending on your region and any promotions Microsoft might be running. Some training programs and educational institutions also offer exam vouchers at discounted rates. The Z900 exam is divided into 3 main domains, each covering specific topics and carrying different weights. The first domain is Describe Cloud Concepts, which makes up 25 to 30% of the exam. This section tests your understanding of fundamental cloud computing principles and benefits. The second domain, Describe Azure Architecture and Services, is the largest section, accounting for 35 to 40% of the exam. This domain covers Azure's core architectural components, compute services, networking, storage, databases, and identity management. The third domain is Describe Azure Management and Governance, which represents 30 to 35% of the exam. This section focuses on cost management, governance tools, compliance features, and monitoring capabilities. Understanding the weight of each domain helps you prioritize your study time and focus on areas that carry more marks. Domain 1 covers fundamental cloud concepts and represents 25 to 30% of the exam. In this section, you'll learn about cloud computing benefits such as high availability, which ensures your services remain accessible even during failures. You'll understand scalability, which allows systems to handle increased loads, and elasticity, which enables automatic scaling based on demand. Agility refers to the ability to quickly deploy and modify resources, while disaster recovery ensures business continuity during outages. The domain also covers cloud service models. Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS, provides virtualized computing resources. Platform as a Service, or PaaS, offers development platforms without managing underlying infrastructure. Software as a Service, or SaaS, delivers applications over the internet. You'll also learn about the shared responsibility model, which defines security responsibilities between the cloud provider and the customer. Finally, this domain covers cloud deployment models including public, private, and hybrid clouds, as well as the consumption-based pricing model where you pay only for what you use, understanding the difference between capital expenditure and operational expenditure. Domain 2 focuses on Azure Architecture and Services, making up 35 to 40% of the exam. This is the most comprehensive section. You'll start with core architectural components including Azure regions, which are geographical areas containing data centers, availability zones, which are physically separate locations within regions for high availability, resource groups for organizing related resources, and subscriptions for managing access and billing. The domain covers compute services like virtual machines for running applications, app services for hosting web applications, container instances for running containerized apps, and Azure Functions for serverless computing. You'll learn about networking services including virtual networks for isolated network environments, VPN gateway for secure connections, ExpressRoute for private connectivity, and DNS services. Storage services covered include blob storage for unstructured data, file storage for shared file systems, queue storage for message queuing, and table storage for structured data, along with various redundancy options. Database services include Cosmos DB for globally distributed databases, SQL database for relational data, and managed services for MySQL and PostgreSQL. Finally, you'll learn about identity and security through Azure Active Directory, authentication and authorization mechanisms, and various security tools. Domain 3 addresses Azure Management and Governance, accounting for 30 to 35% of the exam. This domain covers cost management tools, including the pricing calculator for estimating costs before deployment, the total cost of ownership calculator for comparing on-premises costs with Azure, and cost management tools for monitoring and optimizing spending. You'll learn about governance and compliance through Azure Policy, which enforces organizational standards, blueprints for deploying governed environments, resource locks to prevent accidental deletion or modification, and various compliance tools that help meet regulatory requirements. Management tools covered include the Azure Portal for visual resource management, Cloud Shell for browser-based command line access, PowerShell for automation scripting, the Azure Command Line Interface for cross-platform management, and Azure Arc for managing resources across multiple environments. Finally, monitoring and reporting tools include Azure Monitor for collecting and analyzing telemetry data, Service Health for tracking Azure service status, and Azure Advisor for personalized best practice recommendations. Understanding these management and governance capabilities is essential for maintaining efficient, secure, and compliant Azure environments.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.